In a remote, sun-scorched area, there was a small village where life was a daily struggle. Many of the residents, hard-working farmers by trade, faced the constant threat of food shortages. The primary cause of their hardship was a severe lack of reliable water sources for irrigation, leaving their fields parched and their hopes dwindling. In this village lived an elderly grandmother and her devoted grandson, a young boy named Kana. Their small family of 2 was a testament to the resilience and love that persisted even in the face of adversity. Each morning, as the first rays of sunlight touched the dry earth, Kanas would wake up early. He would quietly move about their humble home, carefully preparing a warm meal for his grandmother to ensure she started her day with nourishment and comfort. After their simple breakfast, Kanas and his grandmother would make their way to the fields at the edge of the village. They did not go to tend to their own plot, as it was as barren as the others, but to join their fellow villagers in a collective effort. Day after day, they would gather with neighbors and friends, their faces etched with determination, to brainstorm solutions to their shared problem. They discussed ways to capture the scarce rainwater, debated methods to channel the distant trickling stream, and offered each other support as they managed what little was growing. Kanas, despite his young age, was an active participant, listening intently to the elders and often suggesting clever ideas with a youthful optimism that inspired those around him. His grandmother, her eyes filled with pride, would watch as he helped clear stones and dig small trenches, his small hands working tirelessly alongside the weathered hands of the other farmers. One day, with the support of the village chief and the villagers, they began working together to dig a canal and a water ditch. This decision was a turning point, a collective agreement to fight for their survival rather than submit to the harsh conditions. The entire community mobilized, a symphony of shovels striking the dry ground and voices calling out in encouragement. Men, women, and even children like Kanas contributed in any way they could. The work was grueling, lasting from sunrise to sunset under the relentless sun. They chipped away at the stubborn earth, moved heavy rocks, and carved a path for the water that they prayed would one day flow. After several months of this backbreaking effort, a moment of triumph arrived. The canal and the new irrigation system were finally completed, a lifeline etched into the landscape by their shared sweat and perseverance. A wave of pure joy and profound satisfaction washed over the village, and the farmers, including Kanas and his proud grandmother, celebrated the life-giving channel they had created together. Following this monumental achievement, a new energy pulsed through the community. The once despairing farmers now worked together with renewed vigor and hope, their spirits lifted by the sight of water flowing into their fields. They collaborated on planting a variety of crops that would sustain them through the seasons. The rich, dark soil, now properly irrigated, became a canvas for their agricultural dreams. Rows of rice seedlings were carefully planted, their green shoots a vibrant contrast against the brown earth. Patches of land were dedicated to an assortment of vegetables, with seeds for tomatoes, cucumbers, and leafy greens sown with care. Kanas and his grandmother were in the heart of it all, their hands working the soil, their laughter mixing with the joyous sounds of a village reborn. The sight of the burgeoning fields, a direct result of their collective will, was more beautiful than any of them had ever imagined. The village was no longer a place of scarcity, but a thriving community, its future secured by the waters they had brought forth and the unbreakable bonds they had forged. In a remote area, there was a small, secluded village where life moved at a pace dictated by the sun and the seasons. For generations, its people had lived in harmony with the land, but recently, a shadow had fallen over their community. A prolonged drought had left their fields parched and barren, and the once reliable stream that snaked through the valley had dwindled to a mere trickle. Food shortages became a harsh reality, and the specter of hunger loomed over every household. In one of these homes, nestled under the shade of an ancient banyan tree, lived an elderly grandmother and her grandson, Kanas. Though young, Kanas possessed a spirit as resilient as the mountains that cradled their village. His days began before the first rays of dawn painted the sky. While his grandmother still slept peacefully, Kanas would rise quietly, his small feet padding softly on the cool earthen floor. He would head to the modest kitchen, a small open-air space at the back of their hut, and begin the familiar ritual of preparing their morning meal. He would skillfully coax a fire to life in the clay stove, the soft crackle of burning wood a gentle morning song. With practiced hands, he would cook a simple porridge, often made from the last of their grain reserves, ensuring it was soft enough for his grandmother to eat comfortably. His every action was imbued with a deep sense of love and responsibility, a silent promise to care for the woman who had raised him. Once the meal was ready, he would gently wake his grandmother. Her face, a beautiful map of wrinkles etched by time and wisdom, would light up with a warm smile upon seeing him. They would eat together in quiet companionship, sharing not just food but also a profound, unspoken bond. After their meal, their daily routine would take them not to their own small, fallow plot of land, but to the communal fields at the edge of the village. Here, the entire community gathered, their faces etched with worry, but their spirits not yet broken. They were a collective of farmers, united by a shared struggle. desperately trying to find a solution to the water crisis that threatened their very existence. Kanas, despite his youth, was an active participant in these daily gatherings. He would walk alongside his grandmother, her frail hand resting on his shoulder for support, and listen intently as the village elders discussed potential strategies. He would help the other villagers dig experimental wells, his small frame, wiry and strong from constant labor. He would join them in clearing dried weeds and turning over the dusty soil, a hopeful act of preparation for a rain that never seemed to come. His presence was a source of inspiration for many. Seeing his unwavering determination, the adults found renewed strength to continue their struggle. Kanas and his grandmother were not just fighting for their own survival. They were an integral part of a community fighting for its collective future. A village on the brink, searching for a way to bring life back to their land.